So normally I don't like to have to talk about bad news here on the Transformer Slag podcast, but once in a while we have to dive into some of the negative stuff that happens in our Transformer world. And it's that of Transformers and some of the video games that we love in relation to our hobby. So over the past couple of months, Microsoft has been trying to buy out Activision Blizzard, and this is something that Microsoft has been notorious for. Let's be real. And this is coming from someone who owns Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox X Series. This comes from someone who owns the PlayStation stuff and Switches. So I don't have like one of these like, oh, I own this single console and thus I favor them. I've experienced them all. I feel which ones are better and which ones aren't. And I've never been a fan of the Microsoft side of things when it comes to being a gamer. And seeing Xbox, buy out Rare and then having all the acquisition of all those classic titles like Killer Instinct probably being the best one, Bethesda, and now all of a sudden now Microsoft has all the Elder Scrolls stuff and Fallout. We're never going to see it on any other consoles. ID Software, Doom, Wolfenstein, the guys who do Minecraft. I mean, I could go on and on. Them buying out these companies and having them strongholded onto one console and one console only and cannot be enjoyed by people who own a Switch or that of a PS5. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. And now they're trying to do this with Activision Blizzard. And recently it has been kind of held off because Canada is disagreeing, because Canada has a regulation board, the Canadian Competition Bureau, which prevents people from being monopolies and doing all this crazy stuff. And so it's being held off a little bit, but Microsoft's trying to make all these claims to break away. But it sucks for us because we had some amazing Transformer games from that company, from Activision. War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Transformers Devastation. Those were some top tier titles, if not the greatest Transformer titles of all time in relation to video games. And they were available on Nintendo consoles. They were available on PlayStation consoles and Sony consoles. They were available on Xbox. If this goes through, it's all going to be stuck forever behind the Microsoft paywall, and we'll never see any of that stuff ever again unless you're a Microsoft player. And that sucks because there's so many people that enjoyed these games through those other platforms. Yes, you could still play on PC and stuff, but it just kind of sucks that this is happening. And I mean, just recently, the private Fall of Cybertron servers got taken down, so that sucks. And in relation to all of this stuff happening, and we just started this great Studio Series Gamer Edition subline of figures to kind of remember these great old games, and now all of this is going to be pigeonholed into one company, that really sucks. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I really hope in the end this doesn't happen. It's always great when companies are able to produce on multiple consoles, because as someone who has been gaming in the 80s, gaming in the 90s, and gaming all the way to today, it really sucks when classic companies kind of have like, hey, Mega Man was always on Nintendo, and then it kind of wasn't during the Sony era. And if you were someone who bought an N64 and didn't get a PlayStation 1, forget about your Mega Man enjoyment outside of one or two ports here and there. So it's pretty crazy stuff that's going on. I really hope it doesn't go through, but it's going to affect us when it comes to War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, and Transformers Devastation. And already on the PlayStation Store, all of those titles are gone. You cannot buy them. So something is a brewing. So if you want to play the single player of Fall of Cybertron or War for Cybertron or Transformers Devastation, go out and buy a copy now before people start wising up and realizing, oh my God, it's going to be really tough to get these in the secondary market later on. So go check that out. I know that Fall of Cybertron already goes for decent cash, so it's going to be pretty rough. It's going to be pretty rough. So that's one thing I wanted to cover. The other kind of negative news is more Funko Pop, and Funko Pop that actually affects Proto Man here. So, first we had Hot Rod, and he was the NFT Funko Pop Hot Rod. That was really difficult to get, and I still don't have it to this day because of the crazy numbers that people are asking for a Funko Pop. And well, now the next Hot Rod related Funko Pop, Rodimus Prime, is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive according to the Pop Analyst. Oh my goodness. The Pop Analyst says that it's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Rodimus Prime Funko Pop along with a Galvatron and a bunch of Soundwave related merchandise from Loungefly. But there is a glimmer of hope. There's a possibility that this will be a shared exclusive because we're not 100% out of the big V, and the attendance is not 100% what it used to be. So it will probably be a shared exclusive with GameStop. So, hey, there's GameStops in Canada, so I could still potentially get it and not have to break my legs. So that's pretty awesome. Still, I don't have the NFT one, but maybe one day. But that's it more or less for the news. It kind of sucks to talk about the video game stuff, but hopefully this won't pan out and Activision will be able to still work with other companies and do stuff with Nintendo and do stuff with Sony, because they make a lot of really good stuff that I like, including the Transformer stuff. So hopefully we'll get a revisiting of that. Man, wouldn't it be great if we got like a Fall of Cybertron HD collection, War for Cybertron HD collection that's available across all the consoles and has brand new online with modern, modems and everything and Wi-Fi. Wouldn't that be amazing to have, especially with what Hasbro's doing with that Gamer Edition line, and then all that just being swept under the rug, and now you just got to be a Microsoft owner to enjoy any of it? That's crazy. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. This is the Transformer Slag Podcast, and I'll talk to you again in the near future.